Hello and welcome to another edition of the Ultra Confusion Hangout. I am your host, Charlie, and I'm joined once again by the prolific Connor himself, Zelius.
Yeah, what's up?
What is up, Zelius?
Oh, trying to live the good life, trying to not freeze in the frozen tundra this week. Got a bit chilly this week. I think it's like -8 degrees tonight or something glorious.
Fun.
As long as you get, your little bundle of warmth, get a scarf, a hat, gloves, a layer or two or three or four, you're good to go. Problem solved.
Nice.
Actually, so here's the most annoying part of the cold weather for me now.
Okay.
Like, I'm like, most parts, like, whatever. The other thing is, after work 2 times a week now, I go to CrossFit, right?
Uh-huh.
Obviously, when you're working out, you're not wearing pants.
Yep.
And, like, it's been easy up until now to basically just have, like, a sweatshirt and my shorts on. But now it's, like, it's getting too cold where my legs need, like, something on them besides just shorts.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's my big difficulty right now. I know that's, like, the definition of, like, first world problem is how to deal with working out in the cold weather. I know.
Yeah.
Big problems in the world right here.
Seriously. Okay, let's see what's going on in my world. I'm fighting a sinus infection again.
It's like a perpetual state of being for you.
I think I need to start wearing a face mask when I grill for an extended amount of times.
Do you think that's what's doing it to you?
I think so.
What about like even like one of those like cheap charcoal masks or something?
That's what I was thinking about getting. Just like a little, like the one that you see all the Chinese people walking around with.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I didn't quite say it, but yeah.
Everybody was thinking it. Not that there's anything wrong with wearing them. I mean, I've heard that the pollution level over there is like freaking insane. So
yeah, from what I've seen, it kind of makes sense for like asthma and the elderly and the kids. Yeah. So, and as much smoke as I'm sure you get during your grill out sessions.
Oh God, yeah.
Now I'm trying to picture you smoking a stogie with one of those on. It's kind of funny.
I wouldn't
have like
do
a little
that.
hole in it so you could like stick the cigar in there.
That would defeat the purpose.
True.
All right, so let's see. What's happening in the world of games? Well, not a whole lot because we're in the holiday season and no one is really man enough to start releasing any big name titles until after the holiday rush. Everyone's basically banking on their consoles to sell well, and then the first wave of games to sell well as well.
I guess reports are initially that the PS4 is outselling the Xbox One. Initially.
Right. Now, if you were to go to a store, you could find PlayStation 4s where you can't find Xbox Ones. So
now it's like because Xbox or Microsoft rather just didn't manufacture as many as Sony.
Good question. I do not know.
It's one of those things where a couple months from now, and really the first 2 months obviously doesn't tell the whole tale.
Obviously.
For me, it really comes down to two things. One is, I forgot what the first one was, but the second one, it was a good one too. Well, because my friend Sam, like we played video games and stuff, right, up here, and he's like, dude, when are you getting an Xbox One? And my response was, and this goes for both the Xbox and the PS4, is obviously one of the big potential hang-ups of both consoles during development was the used games. And what's the policy on it? And I know we've heard the policy right now is, used games.
Yep.
But between waiting for that policy to see how it really flushes out, and beyond that, just waiting for actual used game market to develop.
Right.
Because I think the only game I've actually bought new on my Xbox is Mass Effect 3.
Castle Crashers.
Okay, yes, good.
Any hard copy games.
Yes. AAA titles that cost $60 at launch. How's that?
Okay, fine.
So that's the only one I've actually bought like new for $60, and it was very well thought investment. But I just don't buy new games very often.
Right.
So for me, it's like, I'm gonna wait for either console to that used game market really kind of gets going, and they actually have used games for $20, which I realize could be a while, and I'm fine with that.
Okay.
But that's kind of what I'm waiting for, is to really see kind of what happens in that area.
Gotcha.
And to see Microsoft or Sony pull a dick move. And we're like, well, now, granted, that could be 2 years out that something happens.
True. I wouldn't be surprised if both of them pull a dick move, though.
I could see it at some point, yeah. Maybe one of those things where, like, the first year they just let it go to try to get all the sales, And then after they've already sold all their consoles, you're already like, bought into their ecosystem.
Yep.
It's like, oh, by the way, we forgot to tell you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Subsection C of Article A that was ratified last month has now been enacted.
Yep. That's the fun. Well, it's especially a fun little thing that Sony has done in the past, where they slip new verbiage into their terms of service, and of course, if you don't accept them, you can't play on their system.
Well, and you look at the history of Sony, though. I mean, I know we've rehashed it a few times, but and granted, it's been on the hardware end of things, but it's still on the hardware. You look at things like the dual boot, the I don't remember what they call it now, where you can have Linux on it. It's like your other operating system. Yeah, true backwards compatibility. So they're all hardware-related things. But if you look at the two companies and who has the history of over time redacting a few of those features, we know it's Sony.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
Now, like I was saying, there's not a lot of. I mean, there's no new games coming out because both companies are basically banking on games that are out there for launch. But a funny little thing that I found out was the NBA 2K14 for the Xbox One.
Yeah.
Apparently, it utilizes the microphone on your Kinect.
Oh,
so if
yeah,
you start cursing out, it'll give you a technical foul.
That's pretty funny. I've seen that before too, and that's pretty hysterical, actually. It would actually kind of piss me off after a while. Like, okay, that's funny the first time. Now I just want to turn the damn feature off. Apparently, there's not an easy way to turn that specific. Like, it's not like something you just go to the options menu and turn that off. Basically, you have to turn off the entire Kinect voice system in order to disable it, and that's pretty annoying. Like, first time, okay, funny. After a while, it's gonna piss me off.
Well, my question is, if you have like a buddy over who's playing, is it going to be able to figure out whose voice goes to who?
It's the new unplug your friend's controller mechanism.
Yeah, exactly. The guy's running for a fast break. Oh, technical foul on you, buddy.
Or is the technical foul in the defense for yelling "fuck" that he got a fast break?
That's true. I don't know.
Oh, well.
Interesting.
I'm not gonna worry too much about it.
Nor am I.
Heck, I can remember the last sports game I even played on any electronic device. Oh no, I guess that soccer game on the tablet, I would count that. New Star Soccer. That had me addicted for a while.
I have to say that I think I've basically weeded out all sports games minus the college football, which is of course ending. So I won't be buying any more of those games in the future.
Well, and then I guess you still do your, what is it, before every game you play as Auburn?
Oh, I haven't done that in the entire season.
What happened to that tradition? Wasn't that like one of your traditions once upon a time?
Yes, it was, but Auburn was playing so bad last year that I decided to not do that tradition, see what happened.
They actually hired a head coach who could coach offense. Congratulations.
Well, it became obvious that we let the wrong coach go in the first place. That it was really Malzahn, not Chiswick.
Did you see the rumor of your new coaches of where his dream job is?
Oh, he laughed his ass off on that.
That's like every coach's dream job.
Of course, apparently, I don't know. But here's a fun little thing here's a little fun thing that apparently is pissing off everybody. Georgia's going to keep their defensive coordinator.
Super. We'll see how many points our secondary gives up next year. Well, to be fair, it was a very young defense. I mean, they graduated 8 players to the NFL. That's quite a few on defense.
Yep.
So hopefully they improve. I'm trying to be positive here and not going to a fit of rage. How's that?
There you go. Yeah, there you go.
Todd Grantham. Yeah. both of our offensive deep. Actually, I don't know. Offense is kind of one of those. I think Andy Murray's covered up some of Bobo's crappy play calling.
I agree. All right, so let's get into some game talking here.
Indeed, sir.
If I could just find where the hell bit of news I wanted to give out. Um, there's a Dead Trigger 2 update that's out. I was hoping that this update would give you more gameplay, but apparently no. It just fixes some stuff.
What? That's crazy
I
talk, yeah.
Look, Dead Trigger 2. It's a fun game. I'll fully admit it, but there's not a lot to it. I mean, once you get to you go through the U.S., then you go to Africa, and the game's done. And sometimes I'm all for rinse and repeat techniques, but this is just way too much rinse and repeat. In other news, Smite is happy to introduce you to the latest goddess to enter the battlegrounds, and that is Nuwa, Guardian of Heaven. And of course, she is wearing some armor that definitely protects her all over. Well, parts of her, like her forearms, and then like mid chest and down, and yeah. So magically powerful armor. She'll never get hurt. But yeah,
Nice.
since I've been a little bit under the weather, and I'm going to have to totally admit I've been a little bit lazy as of late, I have not written any reviews. Actually, I just wrote a review for Fix the Leak, which is an iOS game. I recommend if you have an iPad, get it on the iPad over the iPhone because you get more space to work with. But you could definitely play it on the iPhone. I've got the version on the iPhone and the iPad.
Now the question is, have you been playing other games, or have you just not had time to review those other games that you've been playing? Or have you just not been playing other games?
I have queued up 3 reviews that I need to write. I beat, of course, did I say, I don't remember. No, I don't think I beat Reese, whatever, Son of Rome. So I need to write a review for that. I just wrote the Fix the Leak review. I've also got another iOS review. And then I have something else. I can't remember what the hell it is. I think I'm going to write a review for Defiance. I have not played it. So take it as you will. I'm looking for my next big game to really jump into, but chances are it might be the Ouya. Because I haven't touched the Ouya in a long time, so maybe I'll jump on that and see what that's all about. And then, of course, I'm sure that everybody out there has took advantage of Cyber Monday or Black Friday. I unfortunately didn't take advantage of either.
I bought myself a coat.
There you go. There you go. I didn't do anything.
So real quick, going back to Smite, I thought it was an interesting piece of news. I'm thinking of Smite because it's a MOBA, and another very well-known MOBA, League of Legends.
Yep.
I don't know if you saw, but Riot Games, basically, they're so basically pro players who play for Riot Games, like in their tournaments and whatever, they obviously have to sign a contract.
Yep.
Well, it turns out that the contract, because a lot of these players, they're live streaming, they're playing a LoL, most of them play other games too. Like they're not just dedicated League of Legends, they play other games too.
Right.
Well, it turns out their contract stipulates that there's a list of about 30 games, including games like Heroes of Norwith or whatever it is, how we pronounce it. Dota 2, other MOBAs, games like StarCraft 2, and a number of games that basically players can no longer live stream a list of these 30 games when they're under contract to Riot Games.
Yikes.
Yeah, so it's interesting. It's kind of like So it's almost like, I guess the closest analogy I can think to is like if you're if you're an NFL player, you can't play for 2 teams at the one. You can't be paid by 2 teams at once, maybe.
I think as ass backwards as this organization is, I immediately think about the NCAA. and you're a college athlete, and then
That is a better one.
you go home and you play, and you're not supposed to play in any competitive leagues, but let's say it's your college basketball player, you go home and you play in a highly competitive basketball tournament at home.
Yep.
That's breaking the rules.
Or hell, you can't get a job.
That's it.
I mean, you can't get paid beyond your scholarship or however you want to put it.
Yep.
So yeah, I guess that's actually a good way of putting it. So I was just kind of like, that's interesting. And it's almost like, is Riot, because obviously, Riot, they're at the top of the market as far as MOBAs go right now.
Right.
Look at something like this, potentially drive competitors to like Dota 2, where Steam is basically like, do whatever the fuck we want. We don't care,
Mm-hmm.
Now, obviously, Steam's not, the big difference is Riot's much more invested in the pro game atmosphere, and they really kind of make it go. I mean, they're probably the biggest contributors towards the pro gaming circuit, really. Yep. So, if you don't have Riot supporting you, who's going to support you if you're a professional video game player?
Blizzard.
What?
Blizzard.
If you're playing MOBAs?
Oh no, not. Well, they're coming out with a MOBA.
True. So maybe, I mean, at some point, maybe, but it's kind of like the idea of, I don't know. I just thought it interesting, but to be great, it's only players who actually paid by Riot players. Because I saw some news like, oh my gosh, nobody playing LoL can stream another game, or they'll be like banned or something. It's like, no, it's only player who actually, it's only like, competitive professional gamings who are being paid by Riot Games that this falls under. I still think it's kind of crappy. I mean, video game players should be free to live stream, even if it's not for money. You just can't live stream anything else, which I think is pretty shitty.
Well, I think what Riot Games wants to do is they want to create the illusion that all these people do is play League of Legends. They don't want to show that these people are capable of having a good experience with something that's not League of Legends, especially in the MOBA marketplace.
Well, the problem is these professional game players, they don't play just League of Legends. So at some point, it's like, screw it, we're going to go another game. We're going to be dicks about it.
Right.
That's the advantage of the video game marketplace. Is you have so many, not quite in the competitive, in the professional gamers market at least, but in gaming in general, you have so many options. I mean, look at the mobile marketplace. It's freaking ridiculous.
Yep.
It seems like every month or two, there's a new MOBA coming out. So it's not like you don't have any other options besides League of Legends.
Right, but League of Legends is the top dog right now, so I understand
if you're gonna get paid,
they want to corner the market for right now, and with all and to be honest with you, I have to say that the competitors of League of Legends that are entering the marketplace, some of them are becoming, not as well known, but they're starting to get known and they're starting to gain support. Not like, I kind of here's my analogy. If you want to look at it this way, League of Legends could be seen as like EverQuest. Okay, it was EverCrack. Oh my God, everybody plays EverQuest, and then World of Warcraft came along, and it just kind of which I'm pretty sure what Riot Games trying to avoid is a quick transition to another big MOBA, and then they're left in the rearview mirror. So by restricting their professional gamers to just their stuff, they can slow it down.
But I think it's one of those things though where we're talking we're talking like the top 0.01% of gamers.
Oh, absolutely.
And probably about 99.9% of gamers don't even give a crap about professional gamers.
But if you're online and you're looking for professional gamers who really know their shit and they're live streaming so you can pick up pointers, you want them to be exclusive to the game that you want the attention on. So that other people are like, oh, that looks awesome. I wish I could do that. Maybe I should try to do that.
Yeah, I just don't like it. I hate anything that basically limits a person's opportunities to do cool things.
Right.
Exactly what this does.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, they sign a contract with Riot Games. You want to get paid by us, here's what you have to abide by. Right. So it's, It is what it is. I'm obviously never going to get to that level. I don't think I'll be a professional MOBA player anytime soon.
Yeah, I definitely won't. I can tell you that right now. I don't have the skills to even attempt to do that. I mean, I'm getting my ass whooped by a CPU, so God forbid I actually go and team up with somebody.
I mean, those are hard games to master.
Oh, absolutely. And the amount of time and effort you got to put into it. Yes. Could I, go exclusive with one game and get really, really good at it? Sure. Um, for that like week and a half that I was playing nothing but Defiance, I mean, my God, I could basically, I was taking down everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I didn't do any PvP stuff, but I was taking down any PvE stuff that stood in my way, straight through it, was killing hordes upon hordes of bandits and 99ers and everything. And now when I jump back in after a small little break, it's
Yeah, I mean, I would not be shocked. I mean, those top players probably easily have thousands of hours worth of gameplay in that game
oh,
alone.
absolutely, absolutely.
It's just insane.
To be honest with you, I think we're about 3 steps away from having professional training houses like they have in Korea,
Hmm.
where they literally just put I think it's 16 people into a house, and then the top 8 get to participate under that specific banner,
Yep.
and the rest of them are just kind of like it's like the practice team, the 8 that get left at home versus varsity,
Hmm.
and then you got a ladder system. You know, I think we're getting closer because I mean shit, they League of Legends held a tournament at the fucking Staples Center. That's where the
Yep.
LA Lakers play. I mean, holy crap.
It's kind of. I mean, as much as I enjoy video games, though, like the professional gaming like community is just something that I don't care about. Like, I just don't see myself like if I'm gonna watch a video game, like okay, when I was watching you play Defiance online,
Hmm.
like that's because there's like some community between like you and I. Like I know who you are, I knew what you were
Right,
doing.
right.
We could go back and forth. Or
Yep,
like, if I'm watching, back in college, Ryan Mason would sit there playing Final Fantasy X all day and like, we'd sit around, shoot the shit, I'd watch him play.
right.
But to me that was fun because like we knew each other, it's like community. But like to just sit and like watch like a live stream competitive match just doesn't appeal to me whatsoever. Like it's just not. And to some people it does, obviously. Some people get really into it, get into the community. That's awesome. But for somebody like me, I'm just like,
Yeah, I see where you're coming from. To be honest with you, I think for these live streams, in my opinion, I definitely could not watch them by myself. Now, if I had someone, if it was like like a viewing party where we could really get behind a specific player, or kind of take mental notes, or be able to go slightly off topic, and then once in a while get back into it. I mean, basically, just like watching a sports event. You're not
yeah,
glued to the tube sitting from kickoff to the end. I mean, there's going to be times where your mind's going to wander, and when you have that interaction, that social interaction, um, with people. I mean, that's really why one of the big components of Twitch TV, where you're doing live streaming, is definitely the chat room. I mean, um, I've live streamed a couple of my gaming sessions, and if I don't have the chat room up where I could see people talking to me,
mm-hmm.
they almost immediately drop. But if I have the chat room open, they're like, "Oh shit, let's shoot the shit." I know that you're playing, so you probably can't read everything I'm writing, but at the
Yeah.
same time, you get that personal level. Yes. Now, when you're talking about professionals in tournaments, yeah, you're not going to be talking to those professionals during a tournament. I mean, if they're about to do a Zerg rush, through the Protoss base, they're probably not going to be talking to you during it because they're setting all that shit up. But when it's a more casual live stream type of environment, the chat room is a huge integral part to the experience.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, if I really hardcore into League of Legends, playing like hundreds of hours invested in the game,
Yeah,
could be different. But yeah, I just don't see that happening anytime soon.
right, 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 right.
It's I know. I mean, no, I've got that. I guess I have been investing in games, like Rift and World of Warcraft. I was putting in like those insane number of hours,
Right.
and it's because of that community aspect, and that's why
Absolutely.
the gameplay was obviously had me hooked, but it's really when I started getting involved in the guild that's what really made me give that staying power is that community aspect in those friendships and conversations.
Well, yeah, it's well, I mean, if we really want to go like psychology on this, it's when you find that group of people, or you go into a chat room or something, and people start interacting with you, you have that feeling of belonging,
Yep.
and that's what drives it. If it's if it's just you and you can't reach out to anybody else to share this experience or to enrich the experience, then it gets a little weird or it just gets old. And that unfortunately is one of the issues that I think some of the developers are facing when they're making a single player only game, because the experience cannot be shared. Now, in my opinion, there are very, very few examples where, to me, the multiplayer experience is worth sharing.
Yep. But I think it has to be the right game, and I think part of it too is kind of what you were saying is, and I know a lot of people play multiplayer on the Xbox,
Yep.
but to me that's one of the reasons I don't play multiplayer on the Xbox.
Yeah.
Is the Xbox or consoles in general just aren't really conducive towards building community.
Right.
Now there's something about having that keyboard where you can type. It's a totally different atmosphere on the console versus the PC.
Right.
And that's why any of those games I got, really dived into and invested a lot of hours, they've always been PC based
Mm-hmm.
because you can get that community that you get that I just have never seen on the Xbox.
Right. I agree. I agree. It's
But at the same time, you look at the way we want to interact in video games,
Yeah.
say online video games,
Mm-hmm.
but then you also look at, the Counter Strikes and the Battlefield and, all the multiplayer games that are so massively popular on the Xbox that are all about showing up and just fragging each other without saying hello.
I wouldn't say that. You gain like a squad mentality. You start I wouldn't say like a guild, but you get like a group that you try to get together every single time. The unfortunate thing is finding that group is,
Yeah,
to me, the biggest obstacle, because if I don't know anybody, I'm never going to play that multiplayer game, because there are so many douchebags out there who ruin the gaming experience. Now, if I have, like two friends, and they've got two buddies or three buddies or four buddies or whatever, and we've all got the same game, we start gaming together, and then I build that relationship with those people. And then sometimes, let's say my two friends aren't available, but the other guys are, and they've got some friends, then you could build the community. But if I know nobody, I ain't never, ever going to touch multiplayer, because the mature gamer to douchebag gamer ratio is like 1 in like 5,000.
and I guess maybe that's the big difference between the console and the PC. Is you're right with the console, like if say we wanted to play Halo or something, I
Yep.
could call you big, yo Charlie, let's go play Halo.
Yep.
And I guess the way I look at it is if I don't know somebody who I can call up, it's hard to find those people randomly on the console. Whereas on the PC, I found it's easier to find a community on the PC than the console if I don't know somebody going into it.
Right. And I just thought about this. In consoles, you're basically thrusted straight into a group, right?
Mhm.
With an MMO, you don't have to have a group until you're ready for it. And then,
True.
even then, there's a way to ignore what people are saying, and if they're trying to harass you or whatever, you can tone them out,
Yep.
because the first line of entrance is text based. Where if
Mhm.
you go into like these multiplayer video games, it's straight audio. So if you're not ready for a douchebag, in an MMO, you can just tune them out. If you're not ready for a douchebag in a console game, well, tough shit, because you're going to have to deal with them for at least a match or two.
Yeah. I mean, it's just different styles of multiplayer. I mean, I don't know if either one's better or worse. It's just a different way that the device you're playing on lends itself to.
Right.
It's a different medium that you interact with people.
Absolutely.
You know, obviously, millions of people around the world enjoy multiplayer gaming on Xbox or the PS3. More power to them.
Well, you know, I mean, it comes down to, I mean, the beautiful thing about multiplayer is that you could be anywhere in the world and have an adventure with people that you know or you don't know, and it could be mind blowing. The downside is there's a lot of people out there who you don't know who could ruin an experience to the point where you'll never play again.
Yep. Oh yeah, know that one well.
Yeah.
So, the pros and cons of multiplayer gaming by Ultra Confusion.
Yeah. Now, I wish I could give you everybody an update on the Ultra Confusion panels that are coming up this year, but I still haven't heard anything. I know Canuga's getting all the more closer. It's still, I believe, in February, so there's still time. Fingers crossed we get at least one panel in there, hopefully two. And then, of course, MomoCon as well. I have submitted for 2 as well.
Right on.
Yep. I have to say, I was very impressed with myself. I did not open Steam on Monday. Because I knew if I opened up Steam on Monday,
something would have bit your tongue.
I would have no money at all.
Well, no, that reminds me, we didn't talk about it last week, but that's the latest Steam game I've been playing is actually Civilization, where I picked up the Gods and Kings and Brave New World expansion to play with Civ 5. And, that damn one more term syndrome. It's maddening, I tell you.
Yes.
So I've been playing that game, been playing another marathon. I always play like the marathon or epic gameplay. And so it takes quite a while to finish a game when you play that speed. So I'm still playing it up. I'm forgetting what civilization I'm playing as, actually. The Netherlands. Because you get extra trade routes and stuff.
Oh. I don't remember who I'm usually. I think I'm the Celtics. Or the Celts or whatever.
Why am I not surprised?
Yeah, big surprise there.
So I'm playing that game. Always enjoyable, as usual.
Of course. Oh, excuse me. Stupid allergies. Trying to think. It's sad. I really don't have any games that I've been going gung ho for. It might have something to do with just not feeling 100% or whatever.
What was that game that I bought because of you 2 weeks ago? The spaceship one?
Oh, FTL.
So FTL, I mean, it's one of those games where, like, once I kind of got the hang of it, I basically got to the end mother load ship and I got obliterated the second. The first one I was fine on. And it's the second one where they have like 18 billion drones.
Yep.
That just obliterated me.
Yep.
Like, I don't know why, but after that, I'm like, and I have no further desire to play this. Like, I felt like I'd already been kind of as far as I can take it.
Right.
And, like, I don't even know what I'd do differently next time, so I'm not going to even try. You know what I mean?
Right. And to be honest with you, that's exactly what happened to me the first time I played FTL. I got all the way through it, beat up the ship, and then I had to face the super uber ship and got fucking toasted. And then, like, 3 or 4 months later, I finally decided to open up FTL again because I was so pissed. So fucking pissed. Because I was literally within, like, 2 shots of killing that fucker.
The thing that kind of annoys me about the game is drones.
Yeah.
Like, because you have drone parts, because you're always facing enemies who have, like, frickin' drones. Like, they're coming out of the ash. And, like, you have to very sparingly use drones. And so when you get to the final mothership of all motherships, it's like you've oriented your ship not to use just drones, which you really need to, because then you could defeat the other stuff. It's one of those games, like, I know it doesn't have save points, but I wish maybe even like at the beginning of each, like, solar system, that you can have like a save point there.
Hmm.
Because then you have the opportunity, like as you go through, at least 3 or 4 battles, to
Yep.
kind of change your style a little to
Right.
get to that mothership. I mean, that would be a good compromise instead of just having to restart the entire damn thing over.
Hmm.
So that's kind of my frustration is the drones. I mean, they're awesome, but at the same time, they're really good because of the whole drone part thing.
Yep.
And to me, it just makes it kind of aggravating.
Yeah, I never have drones. I just don't play with drones.
You use lasers and missiles?
Yep.
Gotcha.
Lasers, missiles, and ion beams.
Hmm.
Kaboom! My
It is
biggest
fun when
issue.
stuff goes kaboom, I have to say.
My biggest issue is I always run out of missiles. I'm always out of missiles, no
Yeah.
matter what.
And then you get 4 from when you blow up a ship, and you're like, yes, I can fire another 4 now.
It's like, sweet, next battle. First 4 shots, missiles.
I
Yeah.
think I may have figured out a way to kind of, I want to try it out maybe,
Hmm.
but to basically game the game.
Uh-huh.
Basically, have you ever run out of fuel before?
No.
Okay, so I ran out of fuel in the game, and all that happened was I got attacked, and when I destroyed the ship, I picked up more fuel.
Hmm.
And so my thought is run around to make yourself run out of fuel like in earlier galaxies
Hmm.
so you get attacked more so you get more experience and credits.
Now, you do know that you're supposed to put your ship members in a specific location so that they can master those locations, right?
Oh yeah, I have like fully like ubered up leveled like shield and weapons persons.
Nice.
Yeah. Like leveled up like 6 times or something. I don't even know.
Hmm.
The bar just kept on going for those people, yeah. So I did level those guys up.
Good, good.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it is a fun game. It is frustrating. Um, the randomness is both a blessing and a curse in that game. It's a blessing because you'll always have a different. I mean, yes, the start and the finish, that's the same. I mean,
Yes.
you start in a ship and you have X amount of crew members, and the end is you got to beat this motherfucker who's way too much shit on it. But the rest of it is completely random. You go to different galaxies. There's different shops, missions, all that stuff.
Yep. I wish there was some I don't know, some kind of save mechanism would be nice, but
Mm-hmm.
it's all good. It's a fun game.
Yep, I agree. I totally agree. I'm still very interested to see the iPad version.
Hmm.
I will definitely be reviewing it when it comes out for the iPad because that just the way that the game plays it. I don't think that playing on an iPad would give you any disadvantage. I mean, it's
No, I agree. I mean, it's very point and click.
yes,
You just
absolutely
have to probably pause a lot.
right. Shit, I don't even pause.
Oh, I
I'm a
was pausing.
maniac. I'm a maniac.
You are, man. That fucking ion beam fires like every 2 seconds. How do you not pause and use it effectively?
I've got
It's all that
my
damn
skills.
caffeine.
I got skills.
Apparently.
Uh, let's see here. Any other information? I apologize. I've not updated like any news in like a week. I know that because our last entry was um, the Hangout from last Wednesday.
It's all right.
Yeah. But to be honest with you, there's not a lot of news that's happening right now. You know, choose your console. I mean, that's really it for right now.
Right on. Yeah.
I want to play a new game. I definitely want to play a new game, and I think I'll reward myself after getting through the reviews for these games. To be honest with you, what I've been doing a lot of, which is actually kind of relaxing and a little bit odd, is that I used to be I've always been a huge bookworm, but all of a sudden I've like redoubled my efforts, and I'm like flying through books right now. So it's fun.
I'm almost
Huh?
I've almost finished the Bulgariad.
Nice.
Oh, so good.
Yes.
And
It's
then it's
a
off to the what is it? The Malorian?
Malarian. Yeah.
That the next one? Yeah.
Yeah. It's awesome.
I know. Well, the Redemption of Atlas is still one of my favorite books. I love that book.
I love that book too. I
It's just a
do.
fun book to read.
Yeah. I need to find my copy. I think it's somewhere in the house. I think my mom like unloaded a bunch of my books
Hmm.
into like a couple of boxes that are in my the workshop room, and I think I just need to go through them and see if uh, the Redemption of Alphaeus is in there.
So, which begs the question: have you been reading anything good lately, sir?
Okay, so I've been reading a series called The Iron Druid. I think there's like 6 or 7 books. It's by oh balls, who the heck is it by? If you like the Dresden Files, any of the Dresden series, then you would like this series because it's got that Dresden feel to it where it's modern age, but instead of a modern age wizard, it's by a guy by the name of Kevin Hearn. Um, Instead of a wizard, it's a druid
Hmm.
who's been living for a long, 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 long time, and he battles werewolves and witches and demons and angels. And the very interesting thing, it sometimes bugs me, but the other times it's kind of interesting, is that um, sometimes he has to butt heads with gods and goddesses.
Yep.
And we're talking gods and goddesses from like every single different faith out there. And the
Uh-huh.
reason they exist is because people worship them. If people stop worshiping them, they disappear. So you've
I've
got
seen that before in different
you
series.
you got the Greek pantheon, you got the Roman pantheon. They're both on Mount Olympus, which is interesting. And of course, you got the Norse gods. You've got the Chinese ones. Um,
Do people still really actually worship the Roman gods?
oh yeah,
I think
absolutely.
people actually still worship them.
I would say that there. I wouldn't. In this book, it's not about completely worshiping the god, but recognizing the god.
Okay.
And let's be honest, people still know who Zeus is. They still know who
Yeah.
Aphrodite is. They still know who
Well, yeah,
um,
everybody's seen Xena. Come on.
exactly. Well, Xena and Hercules, man. Xena
Well,
and
no, right
Hercules.
there. So he's okay. So he's battling with gods and shit.
Yeah, yeah. And he's just it's also got to fight against some of the Celtic gods and goddesses. It's very interesting. He um,
He must be one powerful druid.
he's the last one.
The last druid.
Yeah,
Whoa! It's like straight out of oh, what's that other series that we've talked about before? Shannara.
yeah. Oh gosh, Terry Brooks. I'm sorry, but I have only gone through one of your books
And how
ever.
many like versions of Shannara are there? Like seriously, is like the balls of Shannara out yet? It's like everything's like some weird version of Shannara
The left enchanted arm of Shannara.
that
Yeah.
once touched the fabled sword.
Well, I understand, like, once you have a universe, you want to try to milk it for all it's worth. But literally, I think that the Sword of Shannara should have been it. Maybe. I don't know. But anyways,
It dragged on a little bit. Just a
Iron
little bit.
Druid is a good series. It's not heavy reading. You can fly through it. If I'm flying through it, most people can fly through the series. I also read um, Dark Half by Richard Bachman, aka Stephen King, which
Ah,
is a
yes.
messed up book, but awesome. Uh, and I still need to read, I think, the last of the. Oh my gosh, I just forgot the one that I got you into. The
The
Parasol.
Parasol
Yeah,
Prectorate or something.
Praetor. Yeah. I still need to read the last one of that. I still need to read the last one of the Michaela Lane novels, which is pretty good. That one is written by Karen Marie Monning. I think there's like 3 or 4 books to that one. That's about. That's actually. Huh. Oh, it's. it's like demons and individuals who have the ability to see past the glamour of the demons and monsters and stuff. It's kind of cool too. So,
Hmm.
anywho, so yes, I've been reading a lot of books. One of the reasons why I think that I've had an uptake in reading the books is that, excuse me, that I'm trying to start up um, writing again. They're coming, which of course for some of you that may not make any sense whatsoever, but for some of you who once upon a time went to the random section on Alter Confusion, is still there. You can still read what I wrote. The story has continued since then. I apologize, but I won't be releasing the rest of it until it's done. Though I will throw up, I have another story that I will throw up in the random section. A lot of people got pissed off because they're like, and now what? And I'm like, oh, I'm done. They're like, oh, you can't be done there. So I'll be putting that
No.
up. I'm not exactly sure. I don't know if I have a title for this one or not. Let me check real quick here. Let me cheat. Oh, yeah. I got to review Hot Mess, which is
Come
written.
on, dude. Whoa.
What was I looking at? Oh, yeah. Shit, where the hell's the icon? I just moved a bunch of stuff around on my iPad, so you have to
Did you
excuse
mess it
me.
up? Do you know where anything is?
Not really.
Uh-oh.
I'm looking for my writing thing. Where the hell is it?
Where is your thing, yo? Where is it?
I really don't. Shit, that's not good. What's this one? No. No. Maybe it is this one. I think it was.
Where? Oh, where could it be?
I don't know. Continue later. View my documents. Ah, here it is. I just put it as story. Awesome. Let's see here. Is there a way to? Oh, I almost had it. Select all. Copy. I'm doing this in real time, folks. I'm going to put it on the Alter Confusion website right now if I still have my Squarespace application here.
Way to live on the edge a little, yo. Be a little bit crazy and extreme.
Or you know what I could do is I could just email it to myself and then do it from there because I don't see my Square. Oh my god, I'm like falling apart here. You know what? I'm emailing it to myself. Oh shit! I removed all the email off this. Well,
These have
shitballs.
issues, yo.
I do have some issues. All right, well, I'll get it to myself in the near future. But I do have a story. I will post it. I can't remember how long it is. It's more of a novella, I think, or something like that. So yeah,
Very
um,
nice. Very nice.
indeed. Well, Celius, I'm going to let you randomly chit chat for about like 2 minutes because I need to go get something real quick. But I'll be right back. So,
Right on.
ladies and gentlemen, Celius,
Well, I'm
yay!
supposed to randomly ramble on. I'm not really quite sure about what. Um, what else have I been playing on the consoles? Not a whole freaking lot, to be honest. Yeah. I'm not good at just being put on the spot and being like, yo, go talk. So I'm not quite sure where to start exactly. Usually I need like a go, which I don't quite have, which is kind of unfortunate. So yeah. Um, hmm, indeed. I'm trying to look through my Steam to see if there's anything that like catches my mind. They're like, oh yeah, I should talk about that. And yeah, not really a whole lot. I see Baldur's Gate is now available on the Steam Marketplace, which is, obviously a game that's been out forever, but now it's revamped, woo, for the PC, so it's all pretty and stuff apparently, which is, I guess, exciting. Who knows? Um, let's see here. What else is going on? Oh, thank you for coming back.
I'm back.
I was drowning there, yo.
Sorry, yo. All right.
I don't quite have the spontaneously rambling skills of you.
Thanks. I got a Kickstarter thing in the mail, so I wanted to show it off for everybody.
The Kickstarter that you gave up?
Huh?
You mean the Kickstarting funding that you gave up?
Yeah, dude, I told you. I had kickstarted so many that I just needed to wait for the damn things to start coming in. So this is one of the ones that I kickstarted a while ago. It's called, I know it looks reverse on my screen. Is it reverse on your screen,
Nope,
Zelia?
it's straight. I see Kobolds Ate My Baby. And color!
Yes.
Stole the British way.
It is the classic beer and pretzels role-playing game. And of course
Is
has,
it really a classic if it's being kickstarted?
it's a reprint.
Okay.
They wanted to see if people still wanted it. And of course, in the Who is to Blame for This, a very heartfelt thanks to the fans, the fan proofing squad, blah, 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 in alphabetical order. And in this list is, of course, hold on, I gotta find it again. Yeah. Let's see if I can't get it close enough.
Whoa. Oh. Wait, other way. Okay, stop. Ultra Confusion. Very nice.
Yeah, man. So, got that. And of course, because I kickstarted with just a little extra money, I got some freebie stuff in here too. In the event of my death, please serve with cheese. It's a membership card, the Royal with Cheese Gang.
Right.
All hail King Tord and his Royal with Cheese Gang. Nice. And I got a couple of postcards.
Score, so you can mail off some stuff. Oh, and a dragon with a.
Now, you may notice that these pictures, the drawings kind of look kind of familiar. That's because these are done by Kolovic, excuse me. That is, of course, the same gentleman.
Munchkins?
Munchkins. Yeah.
It's got a distinct art style.
Yes, and I love it. So
it is kind of works very well for the game, like the type of game, because they're kind of like the goofy, lighthearted games, so it works well.
Yeah, absolutely. So
it would not like fit into, say, the universe of a, say, George R. Martin world. It would probably not fit so much.
Which, of course, by the way, if you have not bought the Blu-ray third season, I believe that is about to go on sale or just became available.
Ooh, that'd be so pretty, like on Blu-ray with like a 60-inch beautiful plasma TV with surround sound.
Mm-hmm. I've got the first 2 seasons behind me.
Nice.
Don't know.
I saw them online, so.
Yep, there they are right there. Yep. These 2 right here on the end. That's season 1 and season 2.
I pretty much don't watch DVDs anymore, or I don't even have a Blu-ray player. I just stream everything, so.
Well, I stream a shit ton, but thanks to the internet providers, I may not be streaming as much as I used to.
Did you get throttled?
All Comcast customers are going to have a ceiling for the amount of data that will be going through your network.
Do they know what that ceiling is yet, approximately?
200 gigs.
A month?
Yes.
You have to stream a whole lot to hit 200 gigs, yo.
Let's think about this. You're going to be watching movies. I'm streaming right now. I want to get an Xbox One game. That's easily 54 gigs. I download a couple games off of Steam. And then my wife is also streaming stuff. I'm getting emails with attachments on it. I'm pretty sure I'll hit the 200 in the first month.
Let's see. I'm trying to see if I can find my bandwidth logs on my router. Where are those stupid things?
That's a good question.
I know I have it, but I'm not sure what the stupid logs are. Because I installed the DDWRT, which has logs, but I forget where the heck they actually are now. I have bandwidth monitoring, which doesn't really help a lot. Like, I want to see my actual stupid logs. How much bandwidth I've used. There we go. Let's see here. So the previous month, because I stream quite a bit myself of Netflix.
I'm pretty sure I stream more than you do.
Okay.
No, I'm just saying that on average I stream about 40 hours from Monday to Friday, maybe a little more.
See, because I've never gone over 116 gigs. Is my highest. Now I stream quite a bit. So I had 200 gigs. Now, granted, I live alone, but 200 gigs isn't terrible. Do you have what firmware do you have on your router? Or do you have the stock firmware?
Probably is stock.
Because most routers can install DDWRT, which will tell you like what your actual bandwidth usage has been. So you can see like, well, it won't tell you your past history, but that way, if you have it on for a couple of months, you can see what you're viewing, like what your bandwidth history's been.
Sounds like an extra project Zelius is going to help me out with when he comes to town.
Woo! Yeah, it's actually pretty easy to do. You basically, the first thing you got to see is whether or not basically the firmware is compatible with your router. And if you have a common consumer router, chances are it is.
It's an Asus.
Yeah, chances are it is. And then basically install. But yeah, it's pretty easy. I can help you out with that.
Cool.
I highly recommend it. And it's also more stable usually too than like your stock whatever.
Right.
You can just see cool stuff. 90% of the features nobody will ever use.
Right.
But it's just fun to have it.
Nice.
Indeed. So what do you plan on playing this week?
Let's. I'm dying. I'm dying.
About 2 more minutes. You can make it.
All right. What am I playing? I'll continue to play Fix the Leaks, even though I did just post the review. I'll continue to play Hot Mess because that game is weird, bizarre, and at the same time, for some reason, I keep going back to it. And of course, it's mobile. I mean, it's on my iPad, so I can play wherever I want to. To be honest with you, I really don't have like a set list of games to play this week because I haven't really checked in on the indie independent game developers Facebook page as of late. So I'm sure that there are some PC games out there that I would love to get my hands on, or some Ouya games if I actually can remember where any of those controllers are. My son has a very bad habit of walking off with any of my gaming controllers, which explains why there's a place.
Ooh, I want to play this. I want to play this.
Which explains why there's a PlayStation 3 controller right in the middle of his bedroom. Because he just walks off with it, even though he is holding it upside down. It's cute, adorable, and I don't want to take it from him.
Of course, who would want to do that?
And yeah, really, the games I want to test out, I need a group to test them out with because they're board games. So if we're talking strictly electric, chances are it's going to be less games and probably more books and possibly story. But yeah, Zelius, games that you're going to be playing this coming week?
Chances are I will be continuing to play me some Civilization 5. I need to finish my game. I'm currently in the year like 1740, I want to say. Of course, you start, what is it, like 4000 BC or something.
Something like that.
But of course, it's one of those games where like It sounds like, oh, you start on 4000 BC or in 1720 AD. You must be almost done with the game. Well, you get
Yep.
around 1800 AD and you're like halfway done with the game.
Yep.
Because it just starts going, because it's kind of realistic for like, to kind of simulate progression. Like you start with 4000 AD and it's like each year's like, each turn's like 20 years or something.
Yep.
And you get later in the game and each turn's like a year. And then you start getting into epic battles and each turn takes longer, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yep.
So not quite, close to being done with the game.
Remind me if I'm wrong, but in Civ 5 you can't stack unlike units.
Correct. No, you cannot stack units. Period. Like, okay, the only thing you can stack like a military unit with, say, like a Stetler or like a worker, basically non-combative unit.
Mm.
But you cannot stack combative units in a discussion. You just can't.
Damn.
Which makes battles, especially if you're going on the offensive, very interesting. Because the trick is so you have like range characters. So like, especially early in the game, all of your range and like kind of assault units, well, they have a range of 1 hex. Which means when you're mobilizing, you have to first get your infantry like surrounding the city, and then behind them pull in your range units. So it just kind of makes moving about all of your units very interesting. Although right now I'm kind of in a world of trouble. I kind of played a strategy where I put all of my units like on the enemy's border, like before I'm about to attack, and then the CPU is like, I see you have units on my border. Are you attacking me? And of course I'm like, no. And then next turn I attack them, but then the entire world gets pissed off at me because now I'm a warmonger who goes back on my word about attacking apparently. So everybody hates me and I have really bad like consequences now.
Nice.
So it is kind of realistic in that form of like diplomacy. But people are going to remember that you pretty much lied to their face and erased the civilization from the face of the planet by cheating, basically. And they remember that 100 years later. I'm still kind of Hitler in the game.
That's terrible.
It is. It's kind of sad. I'm kind of actually afraid they're going to embargo all my trade routes. Because what you also have is, I forget what tech it is you discover, basically you get the World Congress every 45 turns. You can enact various, and this is one of the things you get in the expansions, you can enact various policies. Like some's maybe like one's the world trade, where basically you devote building resources to that world trade instead of like, local improvement. And basically first, second, and third place get like rewards like gold or whatever. Well, one of the things you can do if everybody agrees on it is you can force an embargo on a trade of a certain civilization. The problem with Civ 5 is the majority of your income comes from trade routes. So if you get embargoed, you're pretty much screwed.
Fantastic.
So I'm kind of worried about that the next World Congress. But if that happens, I'll just have to kill everybody before I run out of money.
Sounds like a plan.
Exactly. And somebody also happened to send me a beta key to what's the name of that game again?
Blackguards.
For the Blackguards. So I'll see about this weekend if I get that thrown up and at least give it a little whirl.
Right on.
So that's probably what I will be playing.
Cool. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the hour mark, so unfortunately we're going to have to wrap this up for this week. We should be fine for next week, correct, Zelius? Yeah, okay, rock on.
I think we're there for the next 2 Thursdays. It's the following Thursday where things get interesting.
Yeah. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning into the Ultra Confusion Hangout. For myself, Charlie, and Zelius, it was wonderful talking to you, and we'll see you later.
Remember, kids, keep on gaming in the free world.
Amen to that, brother.